crocheters.
Yeah, look who it is.
We're here in my shop at Stephen and Penelope, surrounded by yarn.
Surrounded by yarn.
It's a yarn
the
lovers.
best environment ever for the new mystery knit-along launch party.
Yes, it's called Speckle and Pop.
Speckle and Pop.
Full of speckles and lots of pop, because more is more and less is a bore.
Yes.
Lots of colors.
Very wise words.
So you can find that all on Ravelry, and I'll see y'all somewhere in the world soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi and welcome to the New Leaf podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, crocheting, behind the scenes stuff of designing, and like this week I will be talking about an event I went to yesterday, which was the Mystery Knit-Along launch party by Stephen West. And in the intro you could see some footage of the party and also of Stephen West himself talking to you guys. So that's awesome. I just I had an amazing time, and I do have more footage, and I will put that at the end of the video, because I don't have enough to make a separate vlog, but to put everything at the beginning of the regular episode, I don't know, felt a bit weird, so I'm gonna put the other footage at the end. And well, first let me step back a little bit and introduce myself. Actually, my name is Carmen. I'm from the Netherlands, and I am a crochet and knitwear designer. Not yet full-time, although I do wish to be full-time designing in the future. On Instagram you can find me as Crafty Queens. On Ravelry I am Caramelletje, and I have a blog called craftyqueens.nl. Etsy is New Leaf Designs NL, and as of a few weeks we have a podcast group on Ravelry, which is called New Leaf Podcast Group. So I just want to start off this episode by talking a bit more about the Mystery Knit-Along launch party, which happened yesterday in Amsterdam at the shop Stephen and Penelope. It was amazing. I went with my friend Narissa, who is Miss Naris, that's Miss with 2 underscores, and then Naris with 2 S's on Instagram. She also has a blog, Miss Naris, and she's one of my fellow crochet designer friends, and so we went to the party together, just, because a party is always fun, but with a celebrity like this, like Stephen West, I was kind of I don't know, maybe like intimidated. So I am really happy that I had someone to go to the party with, and more importantly, the party was from 7 to 10 p.m. in the evening. And I live so far down south in the Netherlands that I would not be able to make it home on the same day. And luckily, Narissa lives quite close to Amsterdam, so I spent the night there, which was lovely, and she has the most adorable bunny who kept me company. But that's a different subject. So there were 25 tickets available, so I'm guessing there were around 25 people at the party, not including staff. And there were also some other nitty celebrities, which I had not counted on, but it was amazing that they were there. So we were standing in front of the shop, waiting very patiently for the shop to open, as they were preparing everything, and we saw Stephen West walking. We were like, ooh, and I was just fangirling all over the place, and you will understand why as I tell you who else was there. So, as we saw Stephen West, we also saw a woman who was just casually preparing drinks. It was Nancy Marchand, or Marchand. Nancy, the queen of brioche. And it was like, no, it can't be. What? Is she actually there? And turns out she lives around the corner of the shop. So that was a really nice surprise, and she stayed the whole evening. And then who else was there? Of course, Malia, the other owner of Stephen and Penelope. She is the Penelope, but then, you know, her name is Malia. And she has some wonderful designs. And of course, she does a great job at you know, managing the store. And there was Petra, or Petra, from Undercover Otter, which is a Dutch indie dye brand. She lives in Amsterdam, and a selection of her yarns is available at Stephen and Penelope, and she made an appearance, and that was really fun. And yeah, we chatted for a little bit. It was amazing. And then Sylvia from Wool met Verve was also at the party, which was very nice to see her again. I saw her at a craft fair once, and she's just lovely, and she does great yarns. And then, as I was just about to leave, I saw this blonde girl, and I was like, I know her from somewhere. And she was talking to Stephen, and I was like, Stephen, could that be Lila from Ching Fiber? And he's like, yeah, do you want to meet her? And I'm like, because you know, if you don't know Ching Fiber, go and look her up on Instagram. It's Ching, so that's with a Q-I-N-G, Fiber with R-E, so F-I-B-R-E. I might just spell the whole thing. So it's Ching Fiber on Instagram, and she dyes the most amazing yarns, and I know her because she recently did a collaboration with Nathan from Twisted Finch, and I thought it was so great that, you know, they apparently live close enough in the UK that they can have a collaboration, and I just think that's really fun to see if two creative people come together and create something. Oops, I just bumped the tripod. Sorry, I'm not that professional yet. And she just dyes amazing yarns, and she has this aesthetic that is really really different, but then, you know, very Stephen Westy, if I can say so. So lots of neon and mohair, and yeah, just amazing. And I got to have a little conversation with her, and she's just lovely. She's very timid and a bit shy, but she was just very lovely to have a little chat with, and yeah, we spoke about Chinese knitting traditions for a while, because, you know, she's from China and I lived there for a year. So it was just fun to chat about just stuff. So those were the knitting and crochet, or actually just knitting celebrities which are present, and I was totally starstruck. Oh, I was, until when we got home that night, I was still like high on adrenaline, and it was so amazing. So let me tell you what we did. So we got into the yarn shop, and we just had a little browse, and then after a little while, Stephen would go up to there's, you know, the ground floor, and then there's the first floor, which is usually their workshop room, workshop space, and he had all his shawls on display there, and he would give a little introduction on his past mystery shawl knit-alongs, and it was just amazing. And because I've seen most of the mystery knit-along shawls, but it was really interesting to hear his kind of like a background story on the designing process of it. And that was really, really interesting. He mentioned like sometimes when he starts a mystery knit-along, the pattern isn't even finished yet, which I just love. You have to be so brave to do that. Very brave or very lazy, but I wouldn't say he is lazy. Yeah, so that was just really exciting, and we got to see all the shawls, all the sample shawls. And in the back of the room, there were already the new kits laying there. I have a little video, I will pop it in at the end. Oh, and I immediately saw which one was gonna be mine. Yeah, so he talked a bit more about the upcoming mystery knit-along, and it's called the Speckle Pop. And he says it's gonna have some kind of a fade, but with pops of color. And it would also be very crazy, as he said it, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think the pattern, the first clue, you can buy the pattern already, but the first clue goes live on the 29th of September. So that's still about a month, so people have enough time to get their yarns. Yeah, I saw the kits are almost sold out at Stephen and Penelope, but you can, as always, you can make your own kit. It uses 3 skeins of 100-gram yarn, 300-gram skeins of yarn, I mean, and 5 minis. And in our kit it has 5 20-gram minis. I'm not sure if you can use less, but you might also just use some scrap yarn. Like if you done a pair of socks and you probably have around 30 grams left. So you can totally use that. So why don't I show you what I got? So this is the mystery knit-along kit that I got. It's called the Hedgehog Fibers color set, and this is number 8. So you see all the lovely minis here. They're very soft colors, some taupe, I would call this, some gray, white, pink, and lovely speckled one. But then the main colors, wow. Yeah, so there's this lovely muted pink, which I love. And then there's this amazing red fuchsia, just, yeah, wow. And this color I also love. It's very dark and moody, dark purple, rusty browns and oranges. Let me get them out of the bag for you. So here's the kit I went with. So you have 3 colors, yeah, 3 big skeins of color, and so they're gonna fade from one to the other side. The first one is called Granny, which I love, and it's just this dusty pink with some gray, some light blue, some beige, and I love this colorway. I love it, and when I saw the colorway named Granny, I loved it even more. Then we have the middle skein, which is called Pheasant, and it picks up on some of the dusty pink tones. Here there's a little bit of muted pink. Maybe it's easier to show it here. But yeah, most of the skein is just bright red and pink, which I'm a little bit intimidated by, but I think it will be amazing. And then the third skein, which is called Truffle, picks up on those reds, but again, very slightly. So we're gonna do some kind of fading technique to help it along. And it introduces bright jewel tone purple, like a really rich tone of purple right here. And also some gold or bronze. Yeah, I'm so excited to get started. Very, very excited. And then the mini skein colors, they're all so sweet and soft. Look at those, so cute. This one is Bramble, which rings a bell for me. I'm not sure. Bramble. I think someone I know has done a shawl in this color. And then the others are Whisper, Crystal, Silence, and Stone. These are all kind of solid tones. And then here in the pink, there's a little hint of, yeah, a bit of sand colored or beige. So I'm really excited how these soft tones and these jewel tones are gonna go together. For most of the kits, the big skeins were more, well, not subtle. I mean, come on, it's Westknits, but less pop as this, and so the minis were more of a like neon or bright color. But for this kit, it was the other way around, and yeah, I just love these. Yeah, I'm so happy with them, and but yeah, I'll have to wait a month to cast them on. So for now, they're just gonna sit pretty on my desk. They're very good at that. So and in the meantime, I will be working on other things. Yeah. Got some other cool stuff at the yarn shop. Stephen and Penelope, of course. One of which is this Canal House needle gauge, needle measure, needle gauge? I think so. Anyway, it's cute. And talking about cute, this little enamel sheep pin. They have a little sample of a shawl on a dress form, I think. And the dress form was wearing this blouse dress with the buttons closed all the way to the top, and then in the first buttonhole they pinned the sheep pin, which was really cute, and I think I might do that as well. And then I also got some more needle tips. This is 3.75 millimeter tips, and I don't have that size yet, so yeah. And since 4 millimeter is my most often used needle, I was actually looking for the 4 millimeter, but they didn't have any. And I thought since my gauge has been loosening up a little bit, I might as well go down to a 3.75. That might be a nice thing to try. Some other things I got, this was in the goodie bag, was a sticker with Westknits are the best knits, and also a bag with 20 copper colored stitch markers, which you can never have too many of, and I don't have very many, so it's always welcome. That was basically what I wanted to tell you about the Mystery Knit Along launch party. We had a lot of fun. I wish I had something like that to go to every night. It was just so much fun. Yeah, that's the right word. And we were so high on adrenaline, and yeah. Okay, there's one more thing I need to tell you. Narissa, she because it was also kind of a knit night, she brought 2 knit projects, and one of which was a brioche shawl. It's by Lisa Hannes, but I don't remember the pattern name. But she was kind of struggling with the brioche, and it was like, oh, maybe Stephen can help you along with that. And then unexpectedly, Nancy the brioche queen was there, and then she offered to help Narissa with her brioche, and I saw them sitting next to each other, and Nancy was just casually fixing Narissa's brioche, and Narissa was like yeah, she was also having a total fangirl moment, which I totally understand, because you know, it would have been amazing if Stephen would have helped Narissa, but then Nancy, who taught Stephen brioche, actually helped Narissa with her brioche, which was just mind-blowing. And yeah, just we had a lot of fun, and I hope that they will do this for every upcoming Mystery Knit Along pattern, because Stephen has been away for a long while from the shop, but he says he will be more active around there in the upcoming year. Yeah, so we'll see if they organize another party like that again. Before I continue with the rest of the episode and showing you my almost finished object, I want to thank everyone, because I recently got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing. Thank you all so much. And of course, I would like to thank you by hosting a giveaway. You can enter the giveaway in my Ravelry group. I will be creating a thread where you can answer a question that I still have to think of. And then you can win some lovely prizes. And I will show those prizes at the, well, not the end, but a bit further along in the episode. I will show it amongst my other acquisitions of Amsterdam. Yeah, so first up is my almost FO, which is the Avocado cardigan. I've named it the Avocado cardigan because the yarn is dyed with avocado. And here it is. It's really almost finished. I just have to weave in the ends and add some buttons. I have done, so last time I was about here with the knitting, and I had completed the sleeve, and I just finished the body and then the ribbing, and then I picked up stitches for the button band, which is the first time, this is the first time I've ever knit a button band. It didn't go super smoothly, but yeah, there weren't any big issues. So so let me talk you through it a little bit. What I always do for stockinette projects is that the first stitch of every row I slip it knitwise. I slip it. I can't remember. I think it's knitwise. And then the last stitch of every row I knit instead of purl. So that leaves a really neat edge. But if you go and pick up those stitches, there is this bigger gap than there usually would be. And I didn't really think of that. So that was the first problem, that I could not really pick up there because they would be too loose, and because you're slipping the stitch every right side row. There's only one stitch per 2 rows. And then in the pattern it says, well, the pattern just says pick up whatever many stitches for one side and then that many stitches for the neck and then number of stitches for the other side. But on the website of, oh, this is pattern by Coco Knits, I forgot to mention. So Coco Knits, and the pattern is called Antonio/Antonia. But on website of Coco Knits, there is this kind of tutorial on how to pick up stitches, and they say just for every, like you pick up 3 stitches and then you skip 1. And that should give you the correct number of stitches so that the button band doesn't flare or anything or puckers up. So 3 out of 4 stitches you should pick up. So since I only had 2 edge stitches per, no, 1 edge stitch per 2 rows, I would have to, I had to pick up stitches from the column, adjacent column, so the column next to it. So the edge stitches are just on the back like this, and it, for now it seems to be fine, but I worry that it creates too much of a bump on the wrong side so that the edging would flip, but then yeah, it seems to be fine, so I hope it'll stay like that. And then so then I had that little problem fixed, but you actually had to pick up like 115 stitches or so for each side, but I made a little bit shorter. So I just picked up stitches whenever I could, keeping in mind the 3 out of 4 stitches ratio. And then I got 102 stitches for this side, and then stitches on the back. And then I got 89 stitches on the other side. So I was like, yeah, so when I knitted the first row, I just, I put 2 markers where I saw that the picked up stitches had a little bit of a, too big of a gap in between. So, so when I knit the first row, I just picked up more stitches there. And it was solved, and you don't really see any weird pulling or tugging. So I'm happy with that. The only thing that could have been neater was at the ribbing. I don't really care for how this looks, but I might be able to fix that with weaving in the ends. yeah, but I don't know. And then the last thing I have to do is pick buttons. I have two types of buttons. One is very plain, and I was actually gonna dye them with tea or something, or soy sauce, just to get them a little bit darker. I have them in this little strawberry bowl right here. So these are the very plain buttons I was telling you about. I bought them in France, and they're just plain wood buttons. So I have 6 of these, and I was just gonna dye them a bit darker, but seeing them on the fabric, it would maybe still be too light, since I think dyeing this would make it of the same saturation level as the color of the yarn. And the other buttons I have, very cute. I love these buttons. They're also wooden, and they're kind of dark green with some engraving, so the lacquer is scratched off there, and you see this really beautiful pattern. I bought these in Germany. I think I'm gonna use these. I was kind of saving them for a different project, but I feel like, why not? That other project, I had this, I don't know, vision of a dark green cardigan, but then, you know, dark green buttons and a dark green cardigan might be, I don't know. So I'm probably gonna use these for this cardigan. Yeah, so I'm really pleased to have completed all of the knitting on this. And sewing in the ends and sewing on the buttons won't take too long, so it will be done in no time. The only thing is that it's still way too warm to wear anything like this, but I am excited to have it finished, and that also means that I can cast on another garment project. So I will probably ball up the yarn for my Melly cardigan and get a start on that. For this, to finish this project, I actually took the needle tips off my Piccadilly shawl whip, so that won't be getting any love soon, I think, because I need the same needles for the Melly cardigan. But you know, they're interchangeable tips, so if I'm really wanting to go back to the shawl, I can just take the needle tips off. But I know I probably wouldn't do that. But anyway, one note about the pattern. So the pattern is Antonio/Antonia, or other way around, I don't know, by Coco Knits, which is, I believe it's Julie Weissenberger. So she's Coco Knits, and it's a really nice pattern. The only thing is that it isn't very hand-holdy. It assumes you know a lot of things, and this is definitely not a beginner project, because the instructions were a bit jumbled to me. Like it would say the sleeve increases, body increases, neck increases, I think, in separate sections. And then it would just say, you know, you work them simultaneously, but you have to look at each section to see if you need to do a decrease for that part in that row. So I created this little Excel file where I just put them all together and like in columns, and where I had to decrease, because otherwise it was just not gonna happen for me. And she does have a lot of a technique tutorial like written tutorials, but also tutorial videos on lots of techniques such as picking up stitches, and just lots of things. So anything you cannot find in the pattern, you might be able to find on our YouTube channel. But yeah, for the way the instructions were laid out, it was not clear at all to me. So I'm happy that I already have some experience with knitting garments, because this would, if I would have knit this as my first garment, I don't know if I would have been able to complete it. But so keep that in mind. It is a very good pattern, but keep in mind that it's not very beginner friendly. I have two WIPs to show you in this episode. One is a crochet WIP, which is my Freezeblocks Shawl. It has not seen as much progress as turns out. We did not crochet all that much at the party yesterday. It was more chatting and admiring other people. So I did about this much. And yeah, I worked on it some in the train home this morning. I have joined my 4th ball of mohair, and I'm getting quite close to the end of this cake as well. And I think I'll have it finished by the end of the week, because last week I was kind of saving it. I was deliberately not working on it, so I would have enough to work on at the knit night, crochet night, whatever. And yeah, so keeping in mind that I am actually letting myself work on it this week, I think it will be finished in a matter of days, because it is so fast and so fun. Yeah, it will be finished soon, and I will be ready to share it and block it. Oh, I'm so looking forward to blocking this. And I forgot to mention the last couple of times, someone asked me in the comments, what kind of needle am I using? This is a Clover Amour 3mm hook. It also says 5, but I'm not sure if that's Japanese size or US size. So it's 3mm. And I use the same one for the version without mohair. And yeah, so that one is a little bit more airy, which is the Breezeblocks shawl. The pattern is up on my Ravelry store. And now for the Freezeblocks, which is for winter time, I added a strand of mohair. I've made the pattern narrower so you can wrap it around because it will be longer. And I'm using the same hook, so I'm getting a more dense fabric, which is really lovely. And I think it will open up a bit more when blocking, but that's totally fine. And the yarn I'm using for that project is the Skepius Whirl, which is the gradient yarn, and Skepius Rhythm Mohair, which is a lovely mohair, 200 meters per 25 gram ball. My second and last WIP I'm gonna show you is a sock, and I knit quite a while on this in the train yesterday and this morning. And yesterday morning I was around here, and since then I have turned the heel, and I have used the heel described in the Sockmaticians pattern for toe-up socks with a gusset heel, and I'm really pleased with it. Yeah, I'm really pleased how it turned out. The only thing that I have to say is that the pattern is more of a recipe, which usually is fine, but he kind of only explains how to do it for your size. And So usually I can calculate the number of stitches I need to do for someone else's foot. But since this is a new to me heel, I don't really know where to put in the heel, where to start for the gusset increases. And he says, well, I'm not going to tell you everything, but he uses his hand to measure it. And of course, if you're using your own hand, it only works for your own foot. So that took a bit of figuring out, and he doesn't really give any instructions on how to, like, a kind of standardized length where to put in your heel. So it's kind of trial and error, but yeah, I figured rather to put it in a bit earlier than later, so that the heel won't be too baggy. And now I am at the ribbing, which I am doing with this lovely, almost fluorescent purple yarn. So this yarn I've used is by Fildar. It's called Phil Folk 100. And since last week I discovered that the 100 means 100 grams, since they also have Phil Folk 50. So that's a little nugget of wisdom for you. I'm sorry. And then this yarn is a mini I got from Ushitita, and I think it was called Aerobics or something. And I thought it went really well with this. Yeah, it is a little bit thinner, so I hope the ribbing will still be dense enough. But I'm liking the way it is knitting up now. And I forgot, I think this is my 8th pair of the year. I think it is, yeah. I think it is. 7th or 8th pair of the year. I need to knit about 4 pairs more for Christmas. So I hope that, yeah, I have to get a move on, but I think I'll manage. But I think 3 out of 4 pairs I need to knit are for men. So, and men's socks just take me like twice the time to knit since the rows are so long. But we'll see. So for the last part of the video, of the episode, I want to show you a bit more of what I bought yesterday in Amsterdam. I went there a few hours earlier since I'm not in Amsterdam often, and I just wanted to have a little look around the shops. And they had a Primark at Amsterdam, and usually I don't go to Primark because I don't really agree with their philosophy. But they had a Harry Potter collection. So I bought some ankle socks with the Marauders map and Hogwarts, and I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Oh, I love these. And they also had Hedwig socks, and they had lots of pajamas and t-shirts and sweaters and bags. Yeah, they had a lot. But I just bought these socks because I thought they were cute. One even has sparkly toes. Yeah, so happy with that. Then I went to this shop, which I cannot pronounce the name of. I'm gonna try. Söstrene Grene, I think. You can read for yourself. So this is the shop name, and it's quite popular. it actually has the logo here. Yeah. So maybe you recognize this logo. The shop is kind of like Flying Tiger, if you know that, like kind of fun little trinkets and DIY stuff, home accessories, kitchen accessories, even some furniture. But then I think this is a Danish or, yeah, I think so, Danish or Norwegian brand. And it's just very Scandinavian chic, but also very cheap. So I got some oil pastels and some watercolor paint. So yeah, that's that was on my list. It really was. It was a planned purchase. And the next thing I'm going to show you was a planned purchase as well. I have been seeing this bag all over Instagram. I mean, all over the Dutch Instagram. It's from Hema, which is a Dutch store, and they have these little, well, they have this back to school collection now, and they have a kind of pencil pouches, and one has these canal houses on them, and they're so cute. And then one knitter on Instagram, she bought this, and she said it was the perfect size for a sock project. So how could I not go and visit and take one home for myself? So the outside fabric is this, I don't know, it's kind of a woven fabric with printed houses on them, and then the inside is, well, a little plasticky. It's red, and it has a hot pink zipper. And yeah. And then I thought, what a fun thing would this be to get for the giveaway? So I got you guys a little pouch, and inside are some goodies. I've included an otter pup, which is a mini of Undercover Otter, which is an indie dyer from Amsterdam. As I mentioned in the beginning, her name is Petra or Petra, I'm not sure how she calls herself. This is in the colorway Atragon, I don't know. I just thought it was very neon-y and bright, and it's like, it has Petra all over. It's 100% superwash merino, so I'm sorry, but you cannot use these, or I would advise not to use these for toes and heels, especially as it is a single ply yarn, but you can use them as fun accents in a shawl, for example. And then I also got a little card with canal houses on them. And to complete the trinity of canal houses, I also got a little needle gauge from Stephen and Penelope. So that is what you can win in the giveaway. So head on over to the Ravelry group, New Leaf Podcast group, and find the thread and enter. And that's all there is to it. And then I think in about 2 weeks, yeah, I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 weeks. I will put the deadline in the description of the thread, and yeah, so you can enter to win. That's all I have to show you for this week. Next weekend I will be at Escapeus Bloggers Days, which is really exciting, and I hopefully will be doing a podcast episode while I'm at Bloggers Days. So I will have lots more to show you. My camera is blinking at me because it is overheating, so I am gonna end this episode. Thank you all so much for watching and also subscribing. I'm so thrilled that we reached 1,000 subscribers. Please remember to enter the giveaway, and I wish you all a very crafty and happy week, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye. Okay. Hi. We're at the Mystery Knit-Along lounge party. I always say that.
A lounge party.
Okay.
It's a lounge party.
At the
we need some different music, I think.
Mystery Knit-Along launch party of Stephen West. I'm here with Miss Narissa.
Hi.
And we're having loads of fun and looking at all the yarns.
And this way and that way.
Baby Dennis, I don't know.
For a year. Yeah. And it's like one. So yeah, no, I need to leave it for a couple days now.
Oh, you have to blow it out, right? The shadow is way too harsh.
Yeah.
This guy, year number 2. Does anybody know? That I don't even have a sample of. It's a gray, a white, gold, bright yellow. And then when they play together, you get these color illusions. And this is the large size. This had different sizes, but I go big.
Stephen's helping someone pick out his palette. The master at work.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
You should take that off tonight. Did you bring these from Iceland?
Lou got them in Iceland.
Oh, Lou got them in Iceland. Yeah, they look Icelandic, right?
They're amazing. I've never seen serviettes so cool in my life. These are the serviettes.
This is the space where Stephen West just gave his little introduction into the Mystery Knit-Along. And here he has all of his samples for previous Mystery Knit-Alongs. And also some other shows. And then here are the new kits. So let me show you. Oh, lovely.
Look at these. This is mine.
Is that yours?
This is mine. And this is
So pretty.
And is this the other one? No.
Where's the other one?
This is the other
this
one. This one.
Yeah, that one's also really pretty. Yeah.
And which one? You got this one, didn't you?
I got number 8. Yes, that one. Oh, I love it.
It's just beautiful. It's so cute. The Doodler. This one is probably my favorite, I think.
I love the kind of feminine shape.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, Carmen.
I want to wear the really oddly shaped one.
The V, yeah, that one.
This one.
I don't remember what it was called. Do you remember what it was called?
Color Craving.
Oh, yeah. I gotta get to the restaurant. Good luck. Belt out. Oh, good luck getting home. Ooh. Yeah, the extra holes for the kind of homeless look.
I'm writing the actual sample.
Actual sample.
Actual photographed sample. Okay.
Okay.
That's enough playing around.
There you go. You can turn it off.